The Steam Deck is here, and I have some thoughts I'd like to share. But first, click the subscribe button, and at the end of the video, smash the like button so we can make more content in the future. Alright, let's get into it. I've had the Steam Deck for a little over 3 months now, and there are some key points for anyone considering purchasing this amazing piece of tech. Alright, so first off, let's talk about the ergonomics. They're great. Man, this thing feels so awesome in the hands, especially when you compare it to the Nintendo Switch. And for the Nintendo Switch owners out there, I know you know what I'm talking about. The Switch is very flat, and maybe after an hour, maybe even half an hour, it just doesn't feel great in the hands unless you put an external grip or third-party alternate Joy-Cons. And the Steam Deck is surprisingly lightweight. I mean, when you look at the pictures, it looks like a beefy, hunky piece of mobile gaming gear, but actually it's pretty light. Now, of course, it's not as light as the Nintendo Switch, but the Steam Deck holds its own with a light weight of its own, which enables you to play for hours on end without your hands cramping up or feeling like you're holding tons of weight. Of course, it's not just about the weight and the actual design of the Steam Deck. It's the buttons, it's the sticks, and how they feel as well. And the buttons feel amazing. We have a true dedicated D-pad, unlike the Nintendo Switch. And then we also have your traditional sticks. I would kind of liken them to Microsoft's Xbox controller. And then you got your triggers and your bumpers, and those are great. The triggers are even analog, they're not digital, so that is a huge bonus. And as you can see, it has a large vent in the rear, it's got top vent. This helps to keep that heat away from your hands as you're playing, because this thing will get hot. Let's talk portability. If you're like me, you have hundreds of games in your library, and with the Steam Deck you can play them anywhere, whether in bed at home, during breaks at work, or on the couch during some free time. Now, with playing anywhere, you're also able to dock the Steam Deck, much like the Nintendo Switch. While the official dock has yet to be released, you can pick up a USB-C hub that connects to a monitor via HDMI. One third-party company is JSOX, and they have just released their dock, or their Steam Deck dock, and it looks pretty legit. It's got USB ports in it, it's got a gigabit Ethernet port in it, HDMI so that you can get up to 60 frames per second through the Steam Deck. So kudos to JSOX for putting that out. There are other companies, whether it be Anchor or some of the other people that put out USB-C hubs, they got you covered so that you can hook up your Steam Deck to a monitor. Okay, and real quick, just to talk about the size and portability, yes, it is large, especially when you compare it to some of the other systems, whether it be the Nintendo Switch or the Sony PS Vita. It is a large system, especially with the case that it comes with, which I might add is a super awesome case. It's a hard shell case cut specifically for the Steam Deck, and it's got a nice little pouch on the back with a belt that you can put the power adapter in. And even though the Nintendo Switch is technically smaller, if you're like me, who is a Nintendo Switch owner, I don't play just with the stock Nintendo Switch. I actually have grips on there. In fact, I have a Satisfy grip that I use for my Nintendo Switch. And when you put that Satisfy grip on the Switch and compare it to the Steam Deck, the size really isn't that much different. Alright, let's move on to user experience. What makes this go is the software. More in particular, the Steam OS, that is a Linux-based software for the Steam Deck. And man, in game mode, it is awesome. So I don't have a whole lot of time to mess around with settings and dig deep into the system, so I prefer something simple. If you want to, you can just do the regular desktop mode for SteamOS, or you can do the game mode for SteamOS, and this is what I particularly use. It's nice, it's simple, and it's easy to navigate, especially for your game library, which has filters for verified games, playable games, unsupported games, so on and so forth. Now, one of my favorite features of SteamOS is Family Share, and this is something that I stumbled onto, and I'll put a link in the description so that you guys can check this out. But what this feature effectively allows you to do is to share your library with friends or family, and for them to share their library with you. And what's cool about this is that Rodney and I have done this, and our library has doubled. And so now Rodney can play any games that I have, and I can play any games that he has. And we can't do it both at the same time if we're online, but if we're offline, it doesn't matter. So a clear example would be the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that came out, and Rodney bought that, and so even though he owns the game, I'm also able to play it. Now, sure enough, I will eventually buy that game so that we can play together, but it's a cool feature to have. He also has Elden Ring, and I was kind of hesitant on buying it, but he already took that leap of faith, and I've actually been able to enjoy that game as well. So after many months of playing with the Steam Deck, was it worth the wait? Absolutely. The well thought out ergonomics make the Steam Deck very comfortable to hold. Configuration of controls and buttons operate seamlessly and feel great. And the sheer amount of games I have access to is staggering. Plus, games in the store are frequently on sale, often at a price lower when compared to Nintendo's eShop. My Nintendo Switch owners know what I'm talking about. The Steam Deck is easily my favorite piece of tech that has given me the opportunity to play my favorite games anywhere in my busy life. Is the Steam Deck a Nintendo Switch killer? No, it's not going to replace that. However, if you want an entry-level gaming PC or an amazing mobile gaming device, the investment is well worth it. Alright, be sure to look out for our next podcast episode as Rodney has his Steam Deck now and we start to discuss this amazing device. Also, I plan to post more dedicated videos to the Steam Deck, whether it be news or games. So until then, this is Michael with the Nation 80 podcast. Keep your imagination up, and we'll catch you in the next one.